The financial world is buzzing today with confirmation that the IMF and World Bank have officially validated Iraq's 25K dinar notes, putting an end to 2 years of rumors, uncertainty, and speculation. For nearly 2 decades, holders of these notes questioned whether they would be accepted in the event of a revaluation. Some feared that only lower denominations would be recognized, while others believed that the 25K note would be phased out entirely. This groundbreaking announcement is a direct reassurance from 2 of the most powerful financial institutions in the world. It means that not only will the 25K notes remain valid, but they are now a central part of Iraq's currency strategy moving forward. This decision confirms that Iraq's revaluation process is not just speculation anymore. It is an unfolding reality with international backing. The importance of this validation cannot be overstated. The 25K dinar note is by far the most commonly held denomination among investors outside Iraq. For many people, it was their first and sometimes only entry point into the dinar investment story. Since the early 2000s, millions of these notes were purchased worldwide as investors placed their hopes on an eventual RV for years. However, uncertainty clouded the picture. Forums, analysts, and even gurus debated endlessly. Would the 25K note be accepted? Or would Iraq issue only new, lower denominations and leave large note holders empty-handed? With the IMF and World Bank stepping in to confirm its validity, the debate is over. These notes are officially recognized. And that recognition transforms what was once labeled a risky gamble into a globally legitimate financial instrument. For those who have held their notes patiently through skepticism and mockery, this is the ultimate vindication. The implications for global investors are staggering. Imagine holding onto stacks of 25K notes that many dismissed as worthless, only to wake up and discover they are now globally recognized assets. Depending on the final RV rates, a single 25K dinar note could exchange for tens of thousands of US dollars or more. This opens the door for life-changing opportunities. Families paying off debts and mortgages, retirees finally securing the financial freedom they dreamed of, entrepreneurs using newfound capital to launch businesses. Banks and financial institutions are also preparing. Reports suggest that exchange centers are structuring multi-tier systems, where larger holders may access contract rates, while retail investors go through standardized exchanges. With this validation, liquidity is no longer a question. Confidence is here. And investors worldwide are preparing for one of the most significant wealth transfers in modern history. The validation of Iraq's 25K dinar notes by the IMF and World Bank is not just about a piece of paper or a number on an exchange rate. It is a symbolic victory for an entire nation. For decades, Iraq has been associated with war, sanctions, political upheaval, and economic instability. Its currency, once strong and respected in the Middle East, became a shadow of itself, forcing its people to carry large bundles of cash just to buy daily necessities. But today, with the global acknowledgement of Iraq's currency by the most powerful financial bodies, the nation is writing a new chapter. This validation sends a powerful message to the world. Iraq is back on the global financial map. By aligning with the IMF and World Bank, Iraq is proving it is serious about economic reform, accountability, and transparency. No longer isolated or undervalued, the Iraqi dinar now stands as a currency with true international credibility. The ripple effects of this are massive. For the Iraqi people, it restores dignity and hope. Savings held in 25K notes are no longer uncertain, they are validated, protected, and valuable. Families who once worried about their financial future can now look forward with optimism. For the government, it opens the door to attracting billions in foreign investment. With a tradable and trusted currency, multinational corporations and investors are far more likely to set up operations in Iraq, boosting industries from oil and energy to construction, technology, and agriculture. For the global economy, it introduces a new player with significant oil reserves and untapped resources. Iraq's rise will not just benefit its citizens, but could also shift balances in regional and international trade. But perhaps the most important impact is psychological. Iraq's validation is not simply about money, it's about reclaiming pride, sovereignty, and global respect. For too long, the nation was seen as broken, burdened by its past. Now, with the backing of the IMF and World Bank, Iraq is positioned as a story of resilience, survival, and rebirth. This is why many call this validation more than a financial step. It is a historic transformation. Iraq is no longer waiting for recognition. It has earned it, and the world is finally acknowledging it. The IMF and World Bank validation of Iraq's 25K Dinar notes, ISNT, just a win for Iraqits, as a global financial turning point. For years, investors around the world have been watching the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong closely, speculating if and when the long-awaited revaluation would happen. Now, with these confirmations, what was once only a possibility has become a tangible reality for individual investors. This means that those holding 25K notes are no longer holding speculative paper. They are holding globally recognized currency with the backing of the most powerful financial institutions in the world. Overnight, savings that some consider dead money or high-risk bets have transformed into real, validated assets with historic upside potential. For banks and financial institutions, this validation has opened the door to officially preparing for exchange processes. Until now, much of the discussion around IQD and VND exchanges was whispered in speculation, hidden behind non-disclosure agreements and insider intel. Today, it is no longer a rumor, it's a structured, documented process, which means financial networks across the globe are already aligning with international standards for these currencies. For the global investment community, Iraq and Vietnam are suddenly hot zones for opportunity. These are nations rich in natural resources, young workforces, and untapped markets, but now they come with the added power of stronger, validated currencies. Investors who were previously hesitant are now seeing clear signals from the IMF and World Bank that these economies are ready to open up to the world. But the implications go even further. Portfolio diversification. Investors can now hedge their wealth not just with traditional currencies, but with emerging ones that have massive growth potential. New wealth creation. Early holders of IQD and VND could experience life-changing gains as revaluation progresses, creating a wave of new global millionaires. Shift in financial power. As Iraq and Vietnam rise, the dominance of traditional financial hubs may face new competition from these rapidly advancing economies. Perhaps the most striking impact is the psychological shift among investors. For years, many dismissed IQD and VND investments as too risky or nothing but speculation. Today, with official validation, that perception is collapsing. The financial world now sees these currencies not as fringe opportunities, but as serious, credible, and globally supported assets. This is more than just an investment opportunity, it is a once-in-a-generation wealth transfer. Those who positioned themselves early are about to see the rewards. While new investors are rushing to understand the significance of this transformation, the validation of Iraq's 25K dinar notes by the IMF and World Bank marks more than just a financial update, it is a defining moment in global economic history. For years, the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong has been a subject of intense debate, skepticism, and anticipation. Some called it a dream, others dismissed it as rumor. Yet today, that speculation has crystallized into a reality backed by the highest levels of international finance. This development is not only about Iraq or Vietnam, it's about the reshaping of the world's financial order. Emerging economies, once considered unstable or underdeveloped, are now stepping into the spotlight with currencies recognized and validated by global institutions. This sends a powerful message. The balance of economic power is shifting, and those who adapt early will benefit the most. For investors, the message is clear. This is a moment that will be studied for decades. Those holding IQD and VND now stand at the forefront of a potential wealth transfer unlike any seen before in modern history. Banks are preparing, governments are aligning, and markets are buzzing with anticipation. For nations, this revaluation represents the beginning of new economic chapters. Iraq is poised to leverage its oil reserves and rebuild its economy on a stronger currency foundation. Vietnam is stepping forward as a manufacturing and trade powerhouse with a currency ready to support its global ambitions. For the global financial system, This is proof that stability and prosperity can emerge even from regions long overshadowed by conflict or skepticism. It demonstrates that with the right backing and reforms, currencies once dismissed as weak can become central players in the world economy. In the end, what we are witnessing is not just the rise of the dinar and dong, but the birth of a new era in Finance One, where emerging markets claim their rightful place alongside established powers. The IMF and World Bank's confirmation has done more than validate notes or exchange rates. It has validated hope, patience, and vision for millions of investors who believed in this moment. And as the exchange windows open, one thing is certain. The world of currency revaluation will never be the same again.